Alright, without further ado, excellent connection, grabbing this, copying that, throwing it in here, putting it in streaming and recording as I do. Boop. There we go. Hey Mopac. What's up is that I'm mentally gearing up to do this again, the thing that I did last time. Which I will just say outright, I almost um, did it like off camera because I just wanted it to be done, and then I did not have the time. Which I've got a couple of ideas for how to make this a little bit easier. First of all, we're gonna fill in that little spot right there I just noticed. Turn that radius way down. Yeah, round two. Let's hope it goes as well as the first time, because honestly, I was very satisfied with how things came out the first time. So, it's kind of a shame. It's a shame that that we lost our progress there, but oh well. All right, so we're gonna do this in two pieces, or like three pieces. If you're a little, that's got to be you're busting my balls, right, Dragon? You're 100% busting my balls, aren't you? We started literally 30 seconds ago. Uh, anyway, welcome to the stream. I've still got this cough. I have the forever COVID, I guess. Um, so no, you're no. Don't apologize. Don't apologize. I thought you were busting my chops, and it would have been funny if you did. But you know, never mind. Never mind. I don't take that as me being like upset for you busting my balls, which you weren't doing. Like, never mind. Too complicated. Don't apologize. Oops, I stepped over a little bit. Um, yeah, Mopac, you were the first one in. I mean, when I start on time, it's almost like people are ready because it's supposed to be some sort of schedule. Um, Listen, I would be impressed if anyone actually like arrives the second that the stream starts, because there's usually a little while there of me going like, okay, let's get ready, let's do this thing, you know, stuff that people on the VOD get to see because they're starting from the actual beginning. But this was actually a really short turnaround for me. I just sort of sat down, booted the darn thing up, and you know, away we went. Um, Also, I think there's someone who is, I don't know if they're a relatively new subscriber or you know, they're a relatively new joiner of the server. Currently, their poll is going for fan rank, and uh, they said they wanted to hop in. I mean, obviously, I don't tend to have, you know, audio guests on, but you know, I told them to keep an eye out for when I do, you know, when I was live, and I posted this in streaming recording instead of the foam pit, which was probably my mistake, because, well, hopefully they're just subscribed to me and they see it anyway. But I think his name is Hasbin. Um, their username was like Mill something. Um, yeah, there we go. Hello, Hasbin. Um, Mill something or other. Is that you? Um, million mil million scrap or million, yeah, okay, or million scrap, yeah. um Sorry, I just went and looked. I wasn't looking at the chat because I was looking at your username on Discord. Anyway, welcome aboard. um yeah, so I am gonna do this in multiple phases to make my life a little bit easier, which is I'm laying down like the basic ground cover first. I don't know why I never thought about this. um and then I'm gonna lay down this detailed texture, and then honestly, I should probably do the splines before I do the trees. That's the right way to do things to make my life easier. Oh, and I forgot. Oh, I didn't do this. Oh, I need to redo the terrain first. All right, we'll come back to that. Um, all this needs to be redone, and I'm kind of annoyed about it, if you couldn't tell. So, we're gonna use this height here. We're gonna mostly fill in just this area, and then we'll go through and work on the edge a little bit. Saw the joking around. Um, so I hope everyone's having a good Thursday. Personally, I could never get the hang of Thursdays. I found out my manager at work is leaving, which is a real shame because he is fantastic. He's moving on to better things. He's taken a position with MassDOT, and you know he's getting to do what he's always wanted to really do. So I'm happy for him. It's not like he's leaving because he's upset with the company or upset with anybody at the company or whatever. I'm not a terrible charge, but it's yeah, that's right. It's Friday for you. Well, welcome to what some people call the weekend. Some people insist that Friday is part of the weekend, and I just don't get it because if it's 2 a.m. on a Friday, it's definitely not the weekend yet. Um, but anyway, I digress. So yeah, that was some sad news to start out my Thursday. But worse things have happened. I've been through so many managers in the last few years. I feel like I'm taking a defense against the dark arts class here. And there are very few people left in my department from when I started 4 years ago. Also, I hope people get the. I guess I'll explain the joke for the non-Harry Potter fans, of which I'm kind of one. I'm not really what you might call a Harry Potter fan, but yeah, Defense Against the Dark Arts. That class at Hogwarts, like infamously during the course of the movies and presumably the books as well, had like a different teacher every year. Um, Friday's a weekday that you can do whatever you want afterwards. Yeah, no, that's true. But by that, if that makes it a weekend day, which I know that's not what you're positing, but I just want to follow through with the thought. If that makes it a weekend day, is Sunday a weekend day? Because you can't do whatever you want at the end of Sunday. You've got to go to bed and get ready for the work week. So, food for thought. What really is a weekend? Um, Other than one dude who made a song that got a ton of radio play, and then he was in the Super Bowl, and it was kind of a weird and mediocre performance. Uh, yeah, I have nothing against the weekend, but I just Blinding Lights is they're a modern one hit wonder that made it to the Super Bowl. I mean, what else do they have? Does he have? Isn't it just one dude? Anyway, somebody who's an actual like weekend fan can school me. Make a small hill on the beach. Well, I think well, we do kind of have a hill right here. Um, you can pay it on Fridays. I know that is nice. Oh, what? I'm building Max and Trainz. Uh, what? Knowing what you know now, what would you do different? Oh, knowing what I do now, what would I do different? You know what? Let me come back to that question because I want to answer D59 first. I have a Franken computer. It's cobbled together from all secondhand parts from other horsemen. A little while ago, I talked about how I have one of the worst computers out of the horsemen now, or maybe I'm in the middle of the road. I used to have one of the best, and I hung onto that computer for about 10 years, and then I started replacing parts on it. Uh, it is, I mean, I can't call it the same computer. It's sort of like the computer of Theseus, uh, as as I had when I started making YouTube videos in 2011, whatever that was. Um, but it is more or less like it's the same case that I've replaced everything in. It sort of is a El Dorado Gorge. Oh, did we? Oh, that's right. Yeah, we. I can't remember what the significance of that was. Um, so I mean, I can run down it really quick. I've got some sort of i7, like a fourth generation i7 in there. The motherboard is a duplicate of one out of an old like an office computer. It's like a commercial model of a computer. I've got like a 600-watt power supply, 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is it is matched. It's in two sticks. Three hard drives, one which is like a backup, one which is my main hard drive, and I like a 250 gigabyte SSD. Just sort of as a boot drive, etc. Um, and I 480 uh GTX 480 as a graphics card. I don't know. It doesn't say it on this side. I'm used to being able to just look at it, so I'm staring into the computer. Which also was broken when I got it. It was missing a fan blade, so it was unbalanced and it couldn't. We will see, Dragon, about how much I can build. It was unbalanced, so it would wobble. What I did was I took some wire cutters and I snipped off the fan blade on the opposite side, so it was now balanced. It cools a little bit less, but it actually does work now and doesn't crash the computer. Um, because of the Frankensteining I had to do to make this work, again, the motherboard is not designed to be in this kind of rig. Um, it gives me problems sometimes. I feel like that should go without saying, but um, it generally is a fairly reliable computer. You know, I haven't had, and I'm gonna say this out loud, which means that it's gonna crash in the middle of the stream. I haven't had it crash on me in a little while, which is nice. Um, but it used to be, you know, far more common. I don't know why it just sort of sorted itself out very slowly over the, you know, probably year or so that I've owned it since I put it together. And I took most of my excess PC parts and built them into a computer for Gloria, which is, you know, a little bit less capable than this one because it's my older computer, but it'll still do most things. I mean, it won't run like the newest games at the highest settings, but it'll run like, you know, The Sims decently. It'll run Coggers well enough. Like it's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Um, and yeah, I mean that's basically my setup. The real kicker is it doesn't have a case, or it doesn't have like half of the case anymore. It's missing a side because the first time I replaced a hard drive, the bracket, I don't remember what the issue was exactly, but I ended up bending the case a little bit and I can't get the side back on it. And I haven't tried. It's just extra ventilation for me. So, hey Pat. Um, so yeah, there's that. Um, so let me go back to Hasbin's question then, or Mill's question, I suppose. Whatever your preference for being called is, which I'm gonna go by basically whatever it says on the screen at a given point, and I'll probably forget it's the same person at some point. I'm redoing what I did last week, Pat, because the game crashed and I lost it. So yeah. Um, but I'm doing some beach stuff. Speaking of which, I'm gonna go to the beach on Saturday. Looking forward to it. I can call you Hasbin. All right. If I may, and I know you're new to Discord. It says so in the doodad. It says so on Discord. You can change your Discord name or your Discord nickname in the server, so that I'll always remember who you are and keep a name consistent across everything. But that's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Just a recommendation, friendly recommendation from yours truly. Um. Anyway, we're gonna fill all of this in here, I think. Um. So I have learned an awful, awful lot since I started making. Hello.
Goodbye.
Where are you going? What? Oh. Oh, okay. Bye. You can leave the door open, you know. I don't know what you're doing in there. I get suspicious.
What do you mean?
You just shut you just shut yourself in your closet? I don't know what you're doing in there. Walter White?
What do you mean, Walter White?
I don't know, you're making meth in the closet.
Oh yeah, totally making that in the closet.
See, I knew it.
Come on, babe, come in here with me.
He's not gonna come in the closet with you. Maybe if you got the bag of treats.
Come here. Come here.
There is... I know you're about to work on this, but there is barely enough room in there for you to stand. He's not going to join you. But he will be sad once you close the door. Anyway. I'm gonna get a sign above your door that says meth lab. Alright, so anyway, where's Saul Goodman when you need him, says Mopac. Uh, anyway. Alright, so, oh man, I don't even know where to begin with the if I knew then what I know now. I mean, I think the number one thing, for those who remember that far back, the number one thing is going to be this tool right here, because I didn't know it existed, and I was doing all of the landscaping underneath my tracks by myself. You just scared the living crap out of him. Uh, uh, don't we already have that one? Okay. Goes in the pile. So, yeah. That's the number one thing. I mean, that's if we're going all the way back. We're talking Geiger Mountains, uh, the first route I ever built on video. So not the first route I ever built, but the first route I ever built that I was proud of, probably. I mean, there was the Junction, which was a really old route of mine, but it does not predate Geiger Mountains, I don't think. Actually, I take that back. There was another route before that, and the only reason I remember it is because I remember drawing up the entire thing on like 17 sheets of paper and building a rig out of connects. If anyone remembers those things, building a rig out of connects to hold it up so that I could look at the whole thing. And that was a map that I was proud of. I took it around everywhere. I literally took it around. I disassembled it, the rig, and I put it in like a tote bag, and I would take it from place to place because I was, I divorced parents. I was going from house to house on weekends. And I would take my laptop and I would take, this giant, you know, connects rig of my Trainz map so that I could keep track of everything. Um, no. I'm talking about connects, the plastic building toys. Yeah, I might have some kicking around somewhere, believe it or not. But it's like an erector set, but plastic. Um, anyway, do I still have it? No, no, I don't. I don't have a lot of the paper stuff. I, for a very long time, did still have the original paper drawings for the Temeros Vale and Anaconda Railway, um, which I, look, at this moment in time as I am trying to sort of pay homage or whatever to it and include it in this route, sort of, as something that gets thumbtacks. Uh, yeah. There you go. Don't eat more than like two or three of them, please. Um,
There's earrings in here.
yeah, they've been in there forever. I don't know whose they are.
Those weird looking ones are the ones that look like zebras or shades.
Oh, okay. I don't know how they got in there. Well, see, Mopac, I used to draw the maps out first before I started building them. And, that may be something that you did as well, and then I moved up to, like, doing that, but in paint.net. Oh, that's right, I got confused as to what I wanted to do over here, because this is, like, Bluffs territory. Are you okay? Baby? Okay. I just heard a gasp. Yeah, that... Is it okay? Oh, no. Okay, that's not too bad. If you wanted to super glue it, yeah, we can probably do that. Anyway. Yeah, so I used to... God, it's... The waft I get when you open the door is just dank. Pfft. Need to put my candle up. Anyway. Yeah, no, I did show off the map in an episode. I mean, one of the first 100 episodes, yeah. It's in there. Apparently the meth did not come out right. That's a good point. It smells like weed instead. We've made the wrong drug.
You did make the wrong drug. I can't get this in the water.
What do you... use the hammer. Um... So anyway, so yeah.
I'm gonna give myself a lobotomy.
God, keep getting distracted.
Sorry.
It's not just you. And so yeah. Uh, so a couple of tools are important. If I knew that, what I do now. I mean, I got to get back to that, but I was talking about my early Trainz roots. I mean, really, there isn't anything that you need to know about my Trainz root building before Geiger Mountains, because while this is my magnum opus in a modern sense, my magnum opus of my early Trainz root building career, my pre Iron Horseman career, if you could even call it a career, was Geiger Mountains, and I was chasing that dragon ever since. And I never even sort of realized that in my later constructions. The Iron Horseman route wasn't suited for doing what I like to do. The Tamaral's Veil and Anaconda wasn't suited for doing what I like to do, and it wasn't even really a thought in my mind at that point. But Geiger Mountains being what it was a very, very formative sort of route building experience for me, and you can see that in what Tolbrand is. Um, I mean, hell, they're even more or less the same sort of rectangular shape. A lot of routes are sort of long and thin because that's how railroads are. But I like to go big or go home. I like to have multiple railroads or just this big loop. Um, you know, so at the end of the day, who pinged me? Oh, nobody. Um, at the end of the day, that was sort of again my very formative experience with Trainz route building and where I get a lot of the things that I took into the modern day. Okay, and this route. And so I think I also didn't know a ton about. So there's a problem with this question. I didn't know a ton about the DLS. The DLS was not nearly as refined or filled out as it is today. Um, because of Geiger Mountains, learned to love the narrow gauge, and more. I still use narrow gauge more than standard gauge. Yeah, because narrow gauge is cool. I mean, Rards Online should have proved it, more than anything. I did upgrade from 2006. If if you took me knowing what I know now and dropped me in front of an empty route, I would probably be building Tolbrand again. But okay, I love you. Or something related. But like, you know, what I knew then, I was a child and I had a much less capable version of Trainz. I mean, the things that I've learned to do route building have more or less come at the pace of those additions to the game. And aside from a couple of tools, like for example the raise height to spline tool, there isn't anything that I was sort of behind the curve on. I feel. How's the thing with the museums going? I have not touched on that yet. I have had a busy week with stuff, and I have not been able to talk about trading cards or to do any trading card stuff yet. It's on the brain. It's just one of those things. It's like I need a block of time where I'm not worried about other stuff. This week has been juggling all sorts of stuff, including car situation. Um, but so there are a couple things that I didn't know about or didn't exist at the beginning of Tolbrand that would change the way I built the route today. And a couple of those have already come into force. I mean, a few of the AI tools and AI scripts, those are relatively recent additions to my repertoire, if not relatively recent additions to the game. Um, so I would be doing the AI as I'm doing it now. Just I would have a few more years on it. Um, Husband, I'll come around to what you said later if I forget it. Just remind me again. What you just wrote about Geiger Mountains. Uh, so that's one of the things There's a couple of other little things. One is the procedural ground scatter, or like the terrain layers, the grass, right? That, if I knew about that and it was around when I started this route, which it may have been, I just didn't know about it. I would be using that everywhere instead of splines. Not instead of, but mostly instead of. Splines are a massive performance hit compared to the ground scatter. So that is one of the things that I would 100% be doing. The AI, like I'm doing it now, is definitely a step up from the way that I was doing at the beginning of the building of Tolbrand. Um, I hmm. Let's see. What else? What else is there? What else have I come into the understanding of? Just some of the ground tools. Like, I've come around on my understanding of the ground tools multiple times in how best to use them to make um, to make a good landscape. But yeah, I mean, it mostly comes down to the stuff that I've developed and figured out since then is um, the ground scatter, the obviously raise height to track tool, um, and the way I do my spreadsheets. And I know that it almost feels like a cop out because it's not something with Trainz, but if I had figured out the way my spreadsheets should work from the very beginning, I would have spent a lot less time figuring out how they work. I mean, really, it wouldn't change what I'm doing in the long run because I would have the same final product, but it would. Uh, some of them I talked with on the beginning of Tolbrand. Yeah, well, I was depressed. I was in a to be sort of vague but still fulfilling in what I'm about to explain here. I was in a much less enjoyable relationship, and my life just felt like it kind of sucked. So, also, Tolbrand started what 5 years ago. I was in my senior year of college. Yeah, definitely depressed. I am happier now than I may have been at any point since like middle school. And middle school sucked. Like middle school was both a high and a low at the same time. So, to all those people in college and people are saying like, "Oh, it gets worse when you turn into adult." It on some levels it does, but on some levels you're going to be the most free and happiest you're ever going to be. Or high school or college or high school, Yeah, the Swiss railways definitely are feats of engineering, but the word you're looking for is spelled Feats, no apostrophe, not feats. You just described something that feet own, but it's okay. Freedom, but you owe money to the IRS. Yeah, no, that is true. Uh, high short line. So, if you could, would you truly rebuild the Geiger Mountains to bring it back to life after it got corrupted? Would you bring it back and modernize it? Well, I mean, if modernize it you mean with like my understanding of trains now, yes. But we're already doing that. In fact, because you're new around here, I would love to show you the map of Tolbrand and how the Geiger Mountains Railway actually fits in. Um, okay, Pat, own it. Um, and because that is effectively what I am doing. Originally, when I started Tolbrand, when I came up with the idea for the Tolbrand Peninsula, I was um, yeah, that sounds about right for middle school, Dragon. That sounds about right. Um, and yeah, I was originally pretty staunch. I was saying, okay, no, we're not going to do narrow gauge. I'm not going to complicate things more than I already know I'm going to complicate things. We're doing standard gauge. We're doing 3 major railroads, and that's it. There are going to be 9 major towns, whatever. And then I started digging into Tolbrand, and suddenly my life was just full of ideas, and I started just creating stuff, which is in if I may say, not to, and this isn't me trying to toot my own horn. I rarely try to do that, obviously. I mean, sometimes I've called myself like, I can bend the AI to my will, but if you've seen any of my streams, you know that I cannot, in fact, do that. I can just try my damnedest. Um, hi, East sent me a gift. Oh, East sent me golf with your friends. Wouldn't be golf with your friends if one of your best friends didn't show up. Buckle up, it's Morbin time. Oh, thank you, East. Um, Thank you so much. And that brings me back to that's so nice of him, and that also brings me back to like what um Bender is gonna send me some parts like an extra PSU and graphics card, and I I was just so touched by what he wrote about like, hey, you know, I won't necessarily spell it out again, not to toot my own horn, but he wrote something very touching. Um, and if he shows up, I'll probably mention it again because I need him to know that. I need to say it. Um, but Mason, you know what I mean. Um, and also, high pot meet kettle. Point is, I didn't want to make more than one gauge because I didn't want to add that sort of complexity. I just was going to do, okay, everything's standard gauge, 9 major towns, and these are our major industries, yada yada. I knew there would be room and that I would be exploring the limits of what I could add to this. But, like I've mentioned many times before, I came into this with a few simple goals. Number one was I want to make a realistic world, with the towns being realistic sizes. Number two was I want to make a realistic world with the distances being realistic sizes. And number three is I want everything to be automated. And I mean everything. Um, so that, the point number three was a direct carry on from Geiger Mountains, which I had not had the chance to realize since Geiger Mountains died, basically. I mean, I did the junction, which was just a small thing, and that was fully automated. But that's once upon a time when I had like actual time to do just Trainz route building when I wasn't recording under construction or associated series, Zombie Train, whatever. Um, so yeah, hi Matt. So yeah, I mean this. I gave myself enough room, and this is the me not tooting my own horn thing. I gave myself a decent enough prompt that I knew the outline of what I was going to do, but at the same time, I gave myself enough wiggle room to, if something struck my fancy, I would be able to build it into the route. And that's what I ended up doing with a lot of things. The olive branch wasn't planned just from the very beginning. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna throw in the olive branch. We're gonna make a branch line here. It's gonna be like 7 miles out. The line up the Scioto Valley, which is here, wasn't planned. And then over here, Zombie Train is the series of this channel, yeah. Over here, you'll notice that there's a third rail here because I added 3-foot gauge. I added functional 3-foot gauge to this route, which is something that I did not plan to do. And yeah, it's a side character that becomes the main character. I mean, I don't even know what I wanted to. I don't even know what I wanted to do when I started this channel. I just knew I wanted to make videos. I mean, my first videos were like Minecraft and locomotion, and then I really hit my stride, hit my niche, I guess, when I started doing Trainz route building. Because yes, there are some more famous people that do it, but I'd like to think that that I still have an important spot in this niche. And if you guys want to aggrandize me at any point among these other communities of foamers that might not know about the guy who streams Trainz route building every week, you're totally welcome to do that. And the more I get my name spread around, the more sales we're going to get on a trading card pack. And the more sales we get on a trading card pack, the more trading cards we can probably make. So, it all comes back to making more content, which content in this case doesn't necessarily have to be me sitting here working on Tollbrand. It can be, you know, throwing out, a few more card packs within the next few months, which would be the ideal situation. And I think my sort of council of people that helps me decide has begun to settle on what the next card pack will be. I am not going to really talk about it too much yet, but I think we're just about there, which means that I'm just about ready to, whatever. I just need to pull together like a meeting for that and have some people give me a hand and research assistance for, list of locomotives that the more trading cards equals more money for foaming. Yeah, that would be great if I actually made money off the trading cards. Uh, Again, we're back to a clerical error and a math error made it so that the day was only saved by the fact that I got a great Vistaprint coupon code. Otherwise, I would have lost a ton of money making those trading cards. Anyway, there's only like 4 other channels I can think of that do trains. Yeah, and there are not that many. If I ever make it to engineer or horseman, which I don't ever plan on doing, so I don't want to impede on anything, give me 16 gigs of RAM, AMD Ryzen 7, RTX 3060. Nice. That's a nice rig. I can definitely respect that, considering I run, you know, this again. This is the ship of Theseus as a computer, as a desktop computer. Um, all those 4 trains channel, only one does weekly while live streams, and I assume that's myself. Well, because the only reason I said that is not because I've gone out looking for competition, but because I made mention of, like, I think I'm the only YouTuber that, whatever, on the Bacon Line, and I just got shut down so hard. I mean, yeah, that's true, that's right. And this as well. I mean, this is out there. But unfortunately, like, we had this discussion last time, only older versions. So, yeah. The biggest change, and I'll just reiterate it so I can round out this question, the biggest change to the if I knew then what I knew now, what would be different about this route is that the ground cover would be more ground scatter, less grass lines. That's about it. That is the biggest change by a wide margin. So, just keep that in mind. I don't feel like my route building really, my philosophy has changed too much. I mean, again, I really can only go back to the beginning of this route, and this is the most advanced route in terms of my philosophy on route building. Route building, map making, whatever you want to call it. So, grass splines my beloved. Yeah, well, it's not my GPU's beloved or CPU's beloved, that's for sure. There's a reason my computer hates this map, and, like, every computer hates this map. What do you think of the 264 Adriatic? Love it. Honestly, unironically, love it. I was always sort of... I've always had this thing, and we've had this, I've made mention of this before, but one of my first, like, medium-large engines that I was introduced to as a concept was the Berkshire. I was given the Superpower book, which is, like, it's just one of those coffee table books. It's, like, 2 feet wide by a foot wide. It's a giant book. It's just not that thick. Probably the only Trainz YouTuber in Rhode Island. I'm one of the only people that lives here, so. Don't mention British bad, but specifically that blue thing that has an illegitimate speed record. Why would you name a train after a duck anyway? So, when I started to wrap my head around the concept of wheel arrangements, at whatever age that was, and I just moved my window by accident, at whatever age that was, I liked, I gravitated towards the Berkshire, the 284, and it struck me as, reading through this book, oh, it's a 284, it's got 4 trailing wheels, 2 trailing axles to support a large firebox. Oh, that makes sense. You want more steam means more power, right? And that just, like, clicked in my head. And Meanwhile, um, I was introduced to, one of the most ubiquitous wheel arrangements in the entire world, which is the Pacific, which is a 4-6-2. It's the inverse of the Adriatic. And I look at it and I go, but that seems wrong to me. I also made my dislike for mountain types known at this time. So that seems wrong to me. You've got four wheels up front, you've got two axles up front, but only one in the back. How do you make enough steam to go fast? These things are supposed to be express engines. How do you make enough steam to go fast when you don't have a ginormous firebox? And well, see, I kind of agree with Tyler with his some of his stances on certain Berkshires, but I do like the OG Berkshires. And the B&M ones with the hoodies are cool too. Um, hey Kevin, have you figured out anything with the server? Like, why does it keep exploding? Uh, anyway, I don't mean to just bombard you with a question right off. I was totally in the middle of a monologue, but it was just something had meant to circle back around to because I've got no answers. Um, so Berks are not bad. Some Berks are good. Well, I hope it doesn't keep doing that, but it probably will. Uh, so larger drivers make up for smaller firebox, and yeah, no, and that kind of makes sense. It's like if you have big drivers, you use less steam per stroke, or less steam per distance, I guess. Um, Therefore, it you can get away with having a smaller firebox, yada yada yada. There are reasons why Pacifics are so ubiquitous and quote unquote get away with having but one measly trailing axle. I mean, there's a reason that large 10-wheelers can do the same thing, but mountains are just Pacifics with an extra drive wheel. Yeah. Mikados are great, but they're not really in this conversation. They're very simple, easy to understand. A relatively old wheel arrangement in terms of modern steam. So, MVCB's NVIDIA could. What does that have to do with that? Uh, weird, Kevin. Drive D being unavailable. That is bizarre. Well, I mean, I wish you luck. Don't think about it like that with the 462. Yeah, it doesn't have a bigger firebox. They're express locomotives. They're meant to go fast, and the heavier or the more steam you need. Yeah, no, and you're making great points. You're rationalizing the question that I had when I was 12, um, which I've sort of come to understand at least implicitly by now. Um, Tolbrand is like a multiplayer map. Yeah, that's the goal, or the goal was to be able to have a multiplayer session. Theoretically, yes, I could make it an online map with the new Trainz content packs that are coming, if we can figure out how those work. Also, again, to go back to it really quick, Surveyor 2 exists now, and I don't understand it yet, but if I did understand it, I would probably be route building differently. Mason, no actionable threats in my chat, please. So, in short, I like the Adriatic because it reminds me of a Berkshire, which makes my, middle school brain happy that it has more firebox. Uh, and that's about it. I mean, that's why I like Adriatics. They just seemed more natural to me than Pacifics. And what's interesting is, this is sort of like a microcosm, and I'm going to get political for a second. This is like a microcosm for how politics works with people in it. You grow up, and just ideology in general. You grow up with a certain thing, you learn a little bit about the world, you make conclusions based on what little bit you know, and you carry those conclusions to adulthood, and they are how you frame everything you see in the world. Acknowledging that sort of thing helps us dispel our cognitive biases. But this is but a microcosm of that. And I wasn't sure I wanted to continue that after the but. This is just, I learned something at a young age, and I carried the biases that brought with me, even into adulthood, even though I logically know the reasons for, why is something an Adriatic, why is something a Berkshire, Why is something a Pacific? Why is something a mountain type? So, um, the issue with Adriatic's only ones ever made were by Lionel. Uh, they made Lionel IRL. Yeah, no, that's true. And I think I own one of them. Oh no, I think I have a Pacific. I have two Pacifics maybe. Um, but yeah, I mean that they are the pretty, oh, it's the Lionel engine. Uh, anyway, I digress. So yeah, that's my feelings on Adriatics. Uh, I feel like Adriatics never caught on in the States just because they were able to make engines bigger instead of trying to cram more firebox, more steam, more power into a small package. Um, you know, as I come to understand, things that came and went in the United States, we're talking like mountain types, and even northerns, were passing fads, and that isn't to say northerns really went, but there were bigger things than northerns that came along. Yes, they were a really ubiquitous and important locomotive, but you know, duplexes are better. Uh, so yeah, you can just make an engine bigger in the United States. You don't, or in the Americas in general, you don't need to worry about, okay, how much engine can I fit into something that has the wheelbase of a Pacific, and that drove a lot of innovation in Europe, especially around the Alps. But it meant that you still had relatively small engines, whereas the U.S. was just sort of like, yeah, we can put more engine on this engine. Uh, we can just make it 20 feet longer, and it'll make more steam than we can possibly imagine. Yeah, loading gauge is an important part of it. I mean, loading gauge more or less has to do with your envelope, but to an extent, it can define how long of a thing you can make. Um, Also, hello Mew. Also, hello MK. Welcome aboard. Oh, Mew already said something and I missed that. Sometimes I have to click off the screen to see everyone's username because this is taking up my whole screen. Um, oh man, I just got death threats on Discord. Oh yay, fun, love that. Um, man, the worst thing that happened to me on Discord was when someone like unironically compared me to Stalin because I was trying to do an administrative thing on the server. Uh, all's fun in Discord, public anonymity. You can say whatever you want, I guess. Don't be a dick. Um, Garrett's are the best. Pat, shut up. Hi, I'm the third viewer you got when you did that collab with Heist. Awesome. Welcome. Uh, yeah, that's right. And I believe I've seen you before, maybe once or twice. I just recognize MK. I try to keep track of all the people, but there are like four or five of you now, so it's even harder. What did Mopac say? Mopac, your real point. Britain figured out how to make a 210 go over 60 miles an hour. Yes, in the comments. That's right. I mean, yeah, I can make a 210 go over 60 miles an hour or 100 miles an hour. Two words, train cannon. Boom, got it. But yeah, so this is not a republic, comrade. You can ironically call me Stalin all you want, by the way. What was I doing? I need to fill in this corner here. I've got Rushy stuck in my head real bad. It's killing me right now. Strap a jet into the back of a locomotive. I am the Republic. That should have been Mopac. That was a way better response than I came up with. Damn it. Now I'm upset I didn't think of that. Imagine the wadding on a... Yeah, so here's the thing. You want to talk about jet engines strapped to locomotives? The New York Central and the Russians tried that. I don't know if that makes it better or worse, that it is those two parties, pun intended, that tried it. But, what do... You can say, Here's a good Terminus podcast question or a Jeopardy question. I still need to release those videos. Uh, what do the New York Central and the Soviet Union have in common? Uh, so Russia made a no Russia made a 414-4. It gets even better, Hasman. Yeah, Bud Cargo Vroom. That's uh Men at Work song. Yeah. Um, Matt, I'm not sure the hippos could get over like 45. They're not supposed to do. They're just supposed to. No eats every Thursday. It's helpful, but the last three times I was fully asleep for the entire stream duration. I'm sorry. Are you in are you across the pond, or do you just have a broken sleep schedule like the rest of us? Um, I mean, the downfall to the 414-4 was that it just was way too long. Uh, boom over. Yeah. No, I go to horny jail, Matt. I know it had to be said, but still. No, I'm just fully nocturnal. Yeah, fair enough. Downhill off a cliff, they would. Alright, I need to fill in the middle of this with grass as well. At least I spent less time being contemplatory this time around. We are doing 100% scenery this episode because of the fact that we lost scenery last time. And scenery, as much as I hate to admit it, is the most important part of the work that I have to do. Patch making controversy. Pat. We're not doing this again. Let me pin it. Let me pin the thing anyway. And I'm just going to write no. Thank you, Matt. I'm gonna make it like a gulag reason talking about calling a Garrett, or like not even calling a Garrett a tank engine, just like having the discussion. Like you can do that, I guess. I will allow dissenting opinions. However, you cannot formally disagree. That is what is disallowed. Like you can't have that conversation. Like there should be, honestly, there should be a few like debates which are barred. And I'm not talking about anything difficult. Like no, you can talk about like abortion and gun rights. What you can't talk about is a hot dog a sandwich? That is forbidden discussion. Uh, yeah. There, thank you. He's getting into the spirit of it already. Um, Also, thank you so much for the gift. That was incredibly touching. Uh, yes, TJ. Uh, oh yeah, because you're the last person I talked with the had the sandwich debate. With which no, of course, in seriousness, you were allowed to have the dumb, useless debates. I love the hot dog versus sandwich debate, or hot dog is a sandwich debate. Um, or is the hot dog a sandwich? Is a burrito a hot dog? No. No, it's not. Um, all right. All right. Hot topic. Erie triplexes are not tank engines. No, they aren't. They aren't. They have a tender booster. That doesn't make them a tank engine. Is a hot dog a burrito? No, it's a calzone. No. Hot dogs are tacos if they're anything. Like they're like the form factor of a taco. I still agree that I still think that it is a sandwich, but if we're just going purely by form factor, it's a taco. Is a stromboli a sandwich? A stromboli is a calzone. Uh, anyway, I just scratched my head so hard that it hurts. The fictional murderer of the Central will have, oh, oops, all Garretts. Uh, Stromboli is a Stromboli. I mean, yeah, that is true, and a hot dog is a hot dog. Uh, it's a, welcome to the oh god damn it, I forget the word for it. There's a joke here. Uh, is quesadilla a form of grilled cheese? I guess technically, yeah. Uh, asking questions that really matter. Yeah, no, that's what this stream is all about. It waffles between the most pointless questions, um, political discussion, Trainz root building, and like I don't know, whatever the hell else we do around here. Trading cards, trading cards. You want to buy some trading cards? If you yes, TJ, you are correct about that. It's water wet. Yes. Uh, a grilled cheese is just bread or similar and cheese. If you add more things to the grilled cheese, it is not a grilled cheese anymore. It is now a melt. There is a difference, and it is important. Uh, Even like actual grilled cheese places are self-respecting enough to call their stuff melts. Um, which, by the way, TJ, did I tell you melt closed? That's sad. Sad about that. We never even got to go there. I mean, I think we both went there separately, but I remember noticing that place while we were out driving during the snowstorm. What was that, like 2017 or 18? Uh, yeah, melt just another casualty of COVID. We're moving towards uh, a world in which there are going to be a lot fewer restaurants around because they're just all struggling for employees. I mean, and part of it is because working at a restaurant sucks and they don't pay you enough, but part of it is just because there just aren't enough employees to go around. I mean, there's a reason why every field is hiring, and uh, it's not because like people got up and went elsewhere. It's because a ton of people retired or died during COVID. So, you know, um, is there a way I can talk to you somehow? Typing really sucks. I mean, get fan rank and join in on one of the doodads. There's no longer a VC at everyone rank at foam pit level because of issues that we had previously. So unfortunately, there is not a way to do that. But just keep throwing. I'm sorry that typing sucks. I assume you're like on mobile or something. Uh, but no, I don't usually have audio guests on under construction. There was a brief period where I did that, but again, that was while I was depressed. So thankfully, I don't have to do that anymore. Um, unless Chris calls me during under construction for a third time, if that counts. Use speech to text. That's fair. I mean, yeah, go on your phone, use speech to text. TJ's out here with the 200 IQ plays. So just simply get horsemen. Um, where is the? Okay, it goes this way. Simply become dispatcher. Duh. Um, what did Matt say he was gonna do? Matt, I don't have that ringtone anymore after I wash my phone. You're gonna get the Soviet anthem, which is arguably better, but also less funny. Um, I mean, you can call me. I won't answer, but uh, I was thinking of changing it to something worse. I was gonna go with balls in your jaws for my new for a new ringtone because I thought that was funny and inappropriate. But there were a couple other ones that I thought of, and I like they left my brain. I forgot. I washed my phone. Yeah, no, I. Long story short, I accidentally left my phone on top of the laundry basket and then dumped the whole thing in the washing machine and didn't realize it for like an hour. Uh, and yeah, that phone was actually. Do I still have it over here? Yeah, I have it in the drawer. That's not it. Phone was toast. Uh, and honestly, it doesn't look as bad on here as it looks in real life. I mean, this thing is dead, dead, dead. It is completely kaputski. And then, so I went to the phone store and I got the cheapest phone they had, which was this thing. It was $48. And within 24 hours, I'd broken it. That one I do not take responsibility for because somebody knocked it out of my hand at Six Flags. Why are you streaming the stream? Probably so people can talk. Sorry, I said somebody knocked it out of my hands at Six Flags. Oh wait, I think they're outside. I think Gloria's outside. Never mind. I thought Gloria was in the bedroom. Gloria would have heard that. Dead Redemption. Yeah. Just killing phones. Why are you talking to me in the chat, not in the Discord? TJ, that's touche. Point for TJ. Like the good kind of point. Anyway, so I want some ideas. So for those in the chat that have either seen or participated in at least one of the double headers, I'm beginning to think that the game type is fundamentally broken because the most recent video, if you haven't seen it, ignore the next 5 seconds, is 3 like shutouts, practically. From a Trump pump the algo. Oh, thank you, TJ. I appreciate that. So watch party of the stream and Horseman A. So yeah, I'm beginning to feel like it is a fundamentally broken game type. However, I think I know a way to fix it, and it's by adding boosters or power-ups, which I have called boosters because I feel like it's the most train-related name I could give them. I mean, also helper cards are probably going to be important. And I should just release like a blank PDF of the helper cards so that people can fill out their own for their diesels and electrics. But the Red Dragon is literally double header on its own. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a tank engine. It's something else special. But I thought, okay, I'll add power-ups. Now, we already have vetoes. We already know what those are. I had originally tossed the idea of using vetoes in double headers because they felt like they wouldn't do anything. They kick out one stat, but in a Locomotive Versus, one stat really doesn't make that much of a difference. You need those pivotal turning point moments where you take the impetus back from, no, it's not, from the, from your opponent or opponents. So, what do? You have to add boosters. You add these boosters, and I came up with 3 on top of the veto, which would be available from the start of the game. Everybody gets 1, or I'll say it, everybody gets 1. And, if there are 4 vetoes and 2 timeouts, I mean, yeah, I just want to break the game up a little bit more, make it a little bit more tactical. So maybe everyone has a veto. Both teams have a timeout. There are 3 other boosters that you can use after the game has crossed 10 points. And they are as follows. Number 1, which is a callback to... number 1 is a 50-50. This is the most gimmicky one. It's the one that I like the least. But I still think I'm going to keep it because it's just sort of silly and, non-serious and whatever. It's a 50-50. You flip a coin, and if your coin lands on heads, your value for that stat becomes infinity. And if your coin lands on tails, the value for that stat becomes 0. So, what are you guys doing? Oh, you guys are trying to count to 10 without duplication. I got it. Guys, can you not? I'm trying to read the chat. You're kind of breaking the chat for me. Thank you. Uh, also, yeah, you're not succeeding. Um, I am TJ, please. All right. Just trying to make sure I've filled in all these spaces here. Yeah, so 50-50, yeah, to get back to it. 50-50, you can, auto win lose a stat. I mean, there are some engines that would be impervious to this, like, um, if you had a single, like if you had a 424 and you played engine wheelbase, then a 50-50 can at best get you a tie. Um, and the reason the 50-50 I feel like has to exist is because the other options, they still don't always, it's the only one which guarantees you a win in a stat half of the time. Um, so yeah, coin flip to probably win a stat. And that is the most powerful one. It's the most gimmicky one. It's the most BS one, but everybody gets one. And when you use a booster, your opponent can use one as well. So here's how it goes: the calling contestant calls a stat. Um, the calling contestant calls a stat and says, okay, I'm going to call boiler pressure, whatever. And then the opposition gets to choose if they want to use a booster. Um, and I might give power of using the booster to the non-calling opposition teammate, uh, because they would have nothing to do at that point in time. And that's number one. Number two is number two is the uh, swapped orders, which means that you just sub in, also known as phone a friend. You just sub in your teammate's stat value for yours. So if you've got Holy War and your big boy's got a and your big boy's got a heyo, your big boy's got a big boy. Um, you can just say, okay, no, we're gonna swap orders here and use the big boy's stat. If they call tractive effort against you, uh, and you go, oh, I'm gonna swap orders, and you use the big boy's value. You don't switch engines, but you do use that stat value. Excuse me, I just got agita. Hold on. And the second one, or the third one rather, final one, is the double header, which is you take your there should only be one of these. I was thinking that you could only use two throughout the game. Uh, is the double header, which is you add your opponent or you add your teammate's stat to yours. And yeah, I might, maybe next week I would introduce one of them and just see how that goes. Or we're doing 3 games, right? Next week, and we're supposed to be doing East versus West. I haven't officially, you know, sort of codified that anywhere, but we're supposed to be doing East versus West, and um, I may try one per game and sort of see how it goes, or I might just jump everyone in and whatever. Doubleheader with two of the same or different combination of the geared locomotives. See, geared locomotives don't have stat pages, which is why we haven't done locomotive versus with them. Yeah, the doubleheader is my original idea for doubleheaders. Originally, you were going to take two locomotives, you're going to add all the stats together, and then play that way. Yes, baby? But I wanted to have a team game.
So, I had to hang up the phone, I was on the phone sorting for topic. And this idiot is in the front window. The window's open, right?
Yeah.
And there's a rabbit sitting at the front, right at the edge of the lawn.
Yeah.
And he's getting all upset. He starts scratching.
Oh my god.
And I had to tell him, get down. Get down.
Yeah.
He jumped up again. He sat there. And I was like, get down. Get down. And then
The rabbit pissed off. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for doing that. I would hope he would not destroy the,
screen.
Yeah. Thank you for preventing him from destroying the screen. Okay, we're kind of back where we were last time. I'm gonna save once more. I love you. And yeah, factor of adhesion at 8. That is something that, like, yeah. Somebody says greater than one frame equal. Oh, okay, yeah, greater than one. I think you're Matt. Matt, that's not the symbol for that. You ever find the link to the Iron Horse and Railroad? Oh, God, yeah, I gotta dig that up. Just poke me in Discord afterward. Waiting for Locodome, doing Chaos Mode, and using Doubleheader to change my factor of fusion to 8. Yeah. Refield the idea I had earlier where instead of an actual veto, it just delays the stat call to the end. So, here was my idea with the veto. If you veto a stat, delay and block is a good name. If you veto a stat, you can't have that stat called against your locomotive specifically, but it still can be called against the other locomotive. It's another thing to keep track of, but that might mix it up a little bit. So, yeah. Yeah, Matt, look in the poll. I responded to you. So it gives you immunity, but not the other locomotive, and it solves the problem that I was kind of worried about, which was that we sort of run out of stats faster. There are some crop splines in the game that don't look terrible you could use in the fields. That is a good idea, but I don't think I'm going to do splines in the fields. As much as like Monkey Brain wants, neuron activation by more splines, I don't think I'm going to do splines in the fields. There's more people, so more stuff to keep track of. It isn't a huge deal. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it to me. Yeah, and I was talking about this last night. Locomotive Versus, just the original game, is about at the limit of what I would want people to have to memorize. To mentally keep track of. When it comes down to Loco Royale, of course, or double headers or Loco Dome, I don't want to ask people to keep track of keep track of 100 different things, So yeah, that's why we have spreadsheet tools. So yeah, those are your 4 power ups. You've got delay and block, which is basically a veto, which I'm taking that name. I like that. You've got double header, which is you add your comrade's score to yours, your teammate's value to yours. You have 50-50, which is the coin flip, and you have what's the other one? What was it called? Not phone a friend. Swapped orders. Which for the record, Swapped Orders is also the name of a never released Iron Horseman episode that was fully written but not filmed. Yeah, Delay and Block Productions is like a YouTube channel, and I think is it one of the ones that people like to dunk on for some reason? Um, Either way, I'll take it. Um, we'll reappropriate it. We are gonna reappropriate Delay and Block just like we're reappropriating MAGA. For the record, if you see MAGA around in my Discord server or whatever, what it means is make Amtrak great again. So we're co-opting that. We're taking it over. We're making it better. Uh, we're building MAGA back better. Make Amtrak great again. Um, Never released Iron. Oh wait, swapped orders. No, swapped orders did come out then. I thought swapped orders was season 3. You're saying that like it was something that came out. Was it supposed to be season 3 or season 2? I don't remember. Well, maybe it was a very distinctive narration, but really informative. No, it didn't. Okay. Um, so anyway, oh my back, it's killing me all of a sudden. Big Boy and Challenger. Yeah, that would be rough though because you'd get murdered on the weight stats. I think having the power ups will allow some more interesting non-meta combinations. Um, yeah, most episodes are unreleased. There aren't more unreleased scripts than released scripts, but it's close. It's very close. Um, Again, it's kind of a shame. I talked about it last week. The thing that I'll always think about the Iron Horseman is that I wish I could have done more. Um, about the Chronicles anyway. But yeah, I need to release that. I need to release that short story set. Just still not quite sure what to say. Also, I need to get Tyler to give me control of the rules document. That's another thing. Anyway, so it's like 40-60 probably for unreleased versus released scripts. Um, Power and attractive effort, tender capacity. Yeah, no, and it's true that you cannot win on weight stats alone, but the thing with the double header is you need to be able to win in both categories, as I feel like we've found out. Um, the big thing about boosters that I wanted to make clear, and this is like the most important part of them, if you win on a stat because you used a booster, you don't get to switch locomotives afterward. You don't get to switch which of your locomotives is playing. You then need to win on a conventional stat against your opponent before you can switch locomotives. So, a conventional stat where you did not win using a booster. So that I think will shake things up. And yeah, next week I'm gonna go nuts. IHR was a stepping stone. It's a shame that most episodes weren't released. Yeah, and although I do want to make the following thing clear. It's not that we have episodes that are unreleased so much. There is one, um, but there are many scripts that were written for episodes that were never produced. And I am blanket calling them the unreleased episodes because yeah, they were never released, but they were never really episodes either. There are a lot of scripts out there that we've created and that we had some, I guess you'd call them guest writers on. For those who know, love it or hate it, the terrible tale of Conrail 311 or Clinchfield 311. We were going to do a crossover with them. That was going to be fun. I of course helped write that episode, and some Iron Horseman characters popped up in other episodes there, or at least one other thing. I think there was a roller derby episode, if I'm remembering right. And that was a ton of fun. I honestly can't say it enough. Again, you can love 311 or you can cringe at it and hate it, but the fact of the matter is, from my experience, in my perspective, writing for 311 was a ton of fun and a breath of fresh air because it doesn't take itself seriously. And the Iron Horseman Chronicles, for the most part, took itself pretty seriously. I mean, there were jokes and there were, funny moments, but for the most part, it had structured plot. It did not have like cartoon logic or anything like that. It just had, you know, it had jokes that were based on fun characters. It was more like Red versus Blue seasons 11 through 13 than seasons 1 through 5. Where also, did you see they got a new voice actor for Caboose? That's not a surprise. Um, where, yeah, there is a central plot that's being driven along, and it is pretty serious, and you're not, like, breaking the laws of physics all the time or whatever. Whereas, seasons 1 through 5 are, you're just sort of, it's all about the jokes per minute. And that is not a bad thing. I mean, many wonderful, wonderful movies survive almost solely on jokes per minute. And this is almost a bad example of it, but it's the first one that comes to mind. Airplane is an utterly fantastic film that I cannot wait to watch. It's probably on the hold on movie list. Tell me I put it on this list. If I didn't, I'm going to search it up really quick. Honestly, it should be at the top of the list. Why would I have to look for it all? Airplane is not on the list. It's not on the list. I'm putting it on the list. There we go. All right, don't tell Gloria I did that. Yeah, you do. You have to earn it. MK, that's a. These thumbtacks are just sitting on my desk, begging to be eaten. So yeah, I digress. Airplane's a good movie. It's got to be on the realist at some point. Gonna watch the next movie for the realist tonight. That is Whiplash. Very excited. If you don't know what the realist is, it's a podcast where Gloria and I, we have a movie list. Mental breakdown over the we have a list of movies that one of us has seen, that we want to show the other person, and we decided in order to force ourselves to make this, in order to force ourselves to actually watch the movies, we would make a 30-minute, short, easily digestible movie review podcast. It comes out weekly. It's supposed to come out on Sundays, but it's always late. And it's on our community channel, which if you go into my channel and then look at the related channels, it's just called The Iron Horseman, not The Iron Horseman Chronicles, just The Iron Horseman. And that is, honestly, I can't say enough how fun of a show that is to make. I've never done a movie review podcast. I've never done really a review anything. So, yeah, that is a ton of fun. This needs to be straightened, I think. Go check it out. Nobody watches that show. You can be viewer number 1. MK, you talked about you're my third viewer on the podcast. Someone in this very chat can be the first viewer of the realist. Honestly, I think that goes to Hemlock, but you can be the second viewer then. Stairs and Route Review. Oh yeah, the reviews. Yeah, that's true. I guess I have done those, just not really as a regular show. I mean, one every 10 episodes is not super regular, I guess. A good community playdate would be a route building competition. I haven't done one of those in forever. I'm going back and forth because I'm not sure whether to put a tree line here. Okay, says. Okay. Is there a story behind that? A story behind what? Which thing? About the route reviews? I used to do them every 10th episode of the Zombie Train. I would take some time, and instead of working on my project, I would review a route. H-shaped water. Oh, this. Homestead. Stand for Homestead. Sorry. Real quick, I was just writing down, like, so the blue dots are where I'm putting the farmhouses. The H is for a homestead, so like a big farmhouse. I just wanted to make a note of that, like an extra note of that. That's why there's a big H there. I'm sorry. I it I've looked at it 100 times. I'm the one that put it there. It's not significant to me. I understand how that could be. Like, what the hell am I looking at? Someone who was not here. Yeah, they're markers. The blue dots aren't just like weird circular lakes that show up all over the place. No, they're when I use that blue, it's when I use the blue, the red, or the black. It's always as a marker to remind myself to do something in that area. What it means exactly is different per spot. Like a Pan Am is a patch of soil in the shape of the letters. Yeah, exactly. Pan Am is just. I mean, I think it did it in red. Oh no, it's the blue. It's the blue again. Uh, it is another kind of turquoise. And a big red question mark because I knew there was going to be a town here and I didn't know what to call it until I was going to call it Pan Am. So yeah, and how this dotted line here is the edge of the mountains and this green here is the edge of the farm fields. So if you see any weird textures that are just hanging around, it's almost 100% because I needed markers somewhere. The one exception is like these guys, which this is a, yeah, exactly. This is where I test out terrain things and where I make measurements and stuff like that. I'm gonna delete these when I start expanding this way. The red lipstick along the edge means I'm gonna add more tiles there. Um, Basically, a note to myself to not build up to the edge with the terrain because it'll make things more difficult in the long run. Um, Also, a note: if you go on the Iron Horseman route and you go up to where the coal mine is, you'll notice that there is a little red edge near there. Um, and I can't remember who exactly built that area. I know it was either Jada or TBA. I can't remember. But I'm not going to pin the blame on either one of them in particular. I'd left a little red lipstick edge because I knew I needed to attach more of the route to there, as was my initial plan. And I sent it off to them to do terrain work and track work. And I basically said, don't build up to this edge, sort of implying that this is where the old main was going to connect. The if this is the edge that I built, they built the old the connection like this off the edge of the map here. And I went, okay, well, whatever. So there's just like 3 half tiles that are sort of look like this because that's where the old main was supposed to attach. Seeing how someone managed this project this size though was interesting. I appreciate that, and yeah, just wait till you see the spreadsheets. If you haven't been here for spreadsheet extravaganza, just wait till you see the spreadsheets. You know, there's like a name a more iconic duo meme, and one of the thing is me and spreadsheets that have gotten completely out of control. Let's see the no, I cannot this episode. I'm not doing spreadsheets this episode. We're doing we're doing uh we're doing scenery all the way through because last episode we lost an hour and a half of scenery work. So I'm sorry. I'll save the last like 5 minutes to show off the map of the map. Uh, Mopac, don't tempt me. I'll watch a few of them in the backlog. Yeah. Um, what the hell was I saying? But we're not doing that time around. Including one or two while this was still Tane. Yeah. So much has changed. So much has changed. I mean, the map is still the same, but what has changed primarily is just how I'm doing the AI and how I'm structuring the spreadsheet and stuff. A lot of it is the same, but a lot of it is different. Um, One of the things that has remained constant is that I keep Matt on retainer for managing the reskins, and he, of course, doesn't do them because I don't pay him anything. So why would he actually work on that? This isn't me. This isn't me busting. This is just me busting Matt's balls. I obviously don't hold it against him that he doesn't have time to do my reskinning. I put him in charge of the thing because he was avid about it, 5 years ago when we started this. And if I learned anything from the Iron Horseman Chronicles, it's that people can get burned out on things, and it happens way faster than I get burned out on things. Um, a driving episode, uh, but Matt, bottom line is I appreciate everything that Matt has done for the Great Tolbrand Reskin project, and anyone who wants to contribute, be that doing the reskins, contacting the authors of the original items, or anything in between. I am eternally grateful, and I owe Matt as many drives in the wagon as he wants, which he had plenty of drives during Apollo, I guess, but not really in the wagon. Um, and also, Matt gets a free pass to make fun of me for locking myself out of my car the first time we met. Uh, Tolbert and Gary's mod. I think this map would explode Gary's mod. Um, hey, Dragon. We're not calling names out here. We're not calling names out here. You're right, but we're not calling names out here. That is actually how you spell Tolbrand. Yes, it is. Uh, you know it because if you Google it, you'll get Besiege, because that's where I stole the name from. Which one of these days I should write to the developers of Besiege and be like, "Hey, I stole your name. Hope you're okay with that." Yeah. Lafayette's getting yelled at because he was trying to demolish the screen window. Oh, we're already all the way up here. I wasn't even paying attention to where we were working. Yeah, I was about to say, Mopac, you took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say it already obliterates Trainz. It'd be so much worse in Gary's mod. Hey, how about this in just regular old train simulator? No, even better. Putting this map in Run 8. Put this map in Run 8 or Railroads Online. Will Tolbrand have a Toblerone statue? No. No, I don't think so. Ask for forgiveness, not permission is kind of what I was thinking. I just thought it was a cool name, and honestly, I should have changed the name before I started working on this, because I came up with the map, I came up with the map basically when I abandoned the Tamarail Svail and Anaconda, and I was looking for my next project that wasn't called the Iron Horseman. Tornado Steam. Well, I mean, yeah, we can have Gevos on stacks here. It is a cool name. It isn't mine. Here's the thing, though. It's only written in a couple of places, and I don't think it's written anywhere in Trainz, aside from obviously the name of the map. So I could just change it whenever I wanted if they were like, why are, cease and desist. I could clearly, save myself from legal action before they send FBI to raid my casino. So it's not a problem no matter what. Name it Greg, yeah. Now you sound like me in coffee shop. Every time Hemlock shows up with something that doesn't have a name, I assign it a random name. And they have never said anything about it, so I assume it's just quietly frustrating. Which is exactly what I would hope for. This is facing the wrong way. It's the Brintle, which also isn't really a bad name, so... Anagram the Iron Horseman into something interesting. Hold on. Anagram generator. Inga's anagram generator. Text Ingus. The Iron Horseman. Oops. Or the Iron Horseman. There we go. Anagrams. Enthrone Heroism. Hermione Hornets. Homer Rhinestone. Hormones Neither. Ear Heron. Eisner Honor Them. Eisner or an Ohm. That's a name. Eisner Homethorn, Eoshem Thornier. It was tons. Ooh, this ones that start with Eerie. Um, Eerie Horn Moths. Eerie Heron's Month. Eerie Honer Moth. Honer Month. Eerie Northmen O's. Homer Rhinestone is probably. What else have we got? I'm just gonna scroll way down. Oh my god, it's so the list is so long. Um, in short term, either Heronmons, either Hens Moron. There we go. Either Hens Moron. Um, M Heroines Theron. So they're all just starting with E. Oh, because the other one started with space. That's why they were 2 words. And Mesh Rhine Root. Okay, how long is this page? Oh my god, I'm not even like a tenth of the way down it. Okay, never mind. We're going back to working on this. Gotta smush them all together so it's 1 word. I don't even know if that's on this page. Hold on. I don't actually. I take that back. There is no word in the English language that is that long, or any language, I would think. MK, you've got to realize this Tolbrin Peninsula is the one thing that staves off my ADHD, and when people present me dumb ideas to go with it, it all goes out the window. It's all gone. And I'm doing okay. I said at the beginning of the stream that I was kind of sad because my manager is leaving, which is like the 3rd one in a year. It's kind of crazy. But it's not because they don't like me, allegedly. That's what they keep telling me anyway. Yeah, I keep looking over at Homer Rhinestone. It's still definitely the best one. And my voice has not started to go out yet, which means it's better than last week by quite a shout, considering computer hasn't crashed, game hasn't crashed, voice is still here, more or less intact. It's starting to go. Time my ideas more tactically. Yeah, no, time your ideas when I'm about to start doing something I don't want to do. But no, that was perfect timing. What's the optimal way of making spreadsheets for train route schedule? Scheduling is one that I haven't quite cracked yet. But what you're just going to want to do is just build a timetable. I mean, when you're building for passenger routes, easy. Build a timetable. Normal timetable. For freight routes, I haven't quite cracked yet. I'm still working that one out. But bottom line is you're going to have to plan your freight routes. So the thing that you need to know more than anything is to make sure your commodities and rail cars are balanced. So you just need a spreadsheet that keeps track of that. And then you can plan your freights however the hell you want. You can start every industry being switched at 5 in the morning and then just go from there. That's not what I'm doing, but it's an idea. Oh, this industry is done. I'm going to send the train out now. You don't have to develop PSR for your trains route. You can run the trains sort of as they happen, because if you're not doing it like me, which means you probably have a brain and some sanity left in that brain, you're not trying to make a schedule that perfectly repeats every 24 hours. You're trying to make a schedule where train cars go to industries. And honestly, you can do that with some really cheeky commands, which are things that I haven't figured out yet, because they really don't have any use for me when I'm doing things, like I'm doing. I don't seed my industry as just set them to max production. The seeding of the industries is not the... This might have been a misnomer that I accidentally created. Seeding industries does not, in fact, mean setting them up to do what I have them do here. Seeding the industries is actually putting the cars down at the industries. That's what I mean by seeding the route. Um, it's just having train cars present and available for you to switch should you just hop on the route, you know, with nothing planned. Um, so that's what I mean by seeding the route. But I sort of made up that as far as I can understand, I made that up. So if you want to use it to your own ends, that's perfectly fine. I don't own a monopoly over words. Um, except for Homer Rhinestone. I'm copywriting that. I'm also writing that down on the ideas doc as the name of an industry. Give me 1 second. Uh, station town name ideas, 12 ring sports, industry ideas. Um, question. Called Homer Rhinestone. How the heck would he have a rail served industry that is called Homer Rhinestone? Maybe it receives like silver, like effing bars of silver or something to melt down and turn into jewelry, to break down into jewelry. Maybe that's what it is. Uh, what the heck? What what jewelry place is rail served? Turn it into a limited. Homer Rhinestone, some kind of industry. Homer Rhinestone Ltd. Um, and react and soon. Save the game. Um, Yeah, no, you definitely get a. They make knife sharp. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. But what would that receive? Yeah, Homer Rhinestone definitely in Geiger City because they would just take in like general goods. I can't think of any place that would be called Homer Rhinestone that would take in a full carload of something. Um, or wait. First of all, I need to do the obvious. What are rhinestones? A rhinestone is a man-made imitation of a cut and polished gemstone. So like, so they're fake diamonds. They're costume jewelry. They're like pieces of quartz. We have a quarry that makes quartz sand already. I think. Wait, does it? Doesn't it? I think we did. We did do that, right? However, there is. Yeah, this is quartz sand. There is but one other thing that I could imagine naming. Oh no, sorry. This makes limestone aggregate. Never mind. I thought this made quartz sand. I thought the idea was to have this make quartz sand. Why are these full of limestone? Yeah, that's not right. Hold on. Lime. Yeah, no, it is. It's lime sandstone. Huh? This is a limestone quarry? We didn't do quartz sand here? Damn, I guess my obsession with quartz sand is wearing off. Um anyway, sorry. Nuclear power plant or a banana factory? Shut up. Uh I mean that in the kindest way, but god damn it with the bananas. Uh so real quick, right? There's one other thing that I can think of that Homer Rhinestone would be like for the name of, which is just miscellaneous industry or like a law broker. It's like that's not what they do. That's the name of the guy who owns it. Pat, no. Um, there will be no banana hammocks on this stream. Uh, however, on my OnlyFans, just kidding. Banana equals monkey. Yeah. Uh, so Yeah, like Mr. Homer Rhinestone. Like that's his name. Like so what does a guy named Homer Rhinestone do? Um or actually, more importantly, what sort of tank car chemical commodity how are rhinestones made? Acrylic limestone injection molding, silicon mold, glass rhinestones made of glass formed by machine cutting. So this can be part of our glass sort of tree, industry tree. So yeah, no, Homer Rhinestone definitely is a crystal gem, and he saves the Earth on the daily. He saves the Earth by night and is like a insurance broker by day. Um, if you're injured in a car accident, call Homer Rhinestone. Uh, or he's in the mob. That's a good point. Um, maybe you could have Homer Rhinestone Memorial Station. Ooh, that would be interesting. Um, but it's a friggin' mouthful. Banana superhero, yeah. Um, oh God. Okay. No, I need to think this through. Definitely Homer Rhinestone is either going to be it's it can definitely be an industry sort of on the glass production chain where we take glass there and we make general goods out of it. Um, or like it's in the same industrial complex as the glass like manufactory, which what was I gonna use the quartz sand for in the first place? I can't even recall. But there was a big idea with me and the quartz sand once upon a time. All right, there we go. Continue doing this. What is quartz sand good for? I believe it's how you make glass. So, yeah. Um, I almost closed Trainz. What is quartz sand used for? Yeah, it's an essential raw material for glass. Um, so basically, we're gonna have trains of this thing going to some sort of complex that makes glass, and also there will be, the complex, the industry will be called Homer Rhinestone, and they'll make glass, but they'll also make rhinestones. Um, sort of a vertical integration there, if you will. My voice is starting to go. Here's a good question for you, Ellis. In narrow gauge, on trains, what wheel arrangement do you use the most? I mean, you kind of have to use Mikados the most, because that's sort of what is available. Um, thank you for reposting that, by the way, because I almost completely missed the question. Um, and I know sometimes, listen, if I notice the thing, don't repost. If I don't notice the thing, you can feel free to let me know. Like, if it's a good question, I'm not saying this is not a blank check to say the same thing in the chat over and over again, especially if that thing that you're saying in the chat is a singular number. Uh, but anyway, um, what era is this being done in? If modern era, Homer Rhinestone rail service is like R.J. Corman. That's an interesting idea. Not that you couldn't have that anyway. This is set in the 50s ish. Does Discord have a meme? The Discord have a meme channel? Yes. Once you have fan rank, it's the channel called They Were Green. If you look in rules and index, there is an index of all of the channels available, and They Were Green is listed in there. Matt, I'm gonna take back what I said about the free Volvo rides. Also the 062s are wonderful. And of course, the Uinta 2662s are also wonderful. But if it's the thing I use the most, it's probably a Mikado. You kind of can't avoid that. Homer Rhinestone purchases the Gilson in Eastern. Real lore. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Hashtag they were green. Because they were green. Speaking of Rio Grande Mikados, they were in fact green. We're getting to the point where I'm getting tired of doing scenery. But we still need to go out and do the beach and the bluffs. I mean, you're not wrong, but either you have the geared and the porters as well as a massive amount of 262s, but that's... Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of 262s. I couldn't really tell you why. It's one of those things where I just picked up a dislike of 262s, and now I just sort of hold this disdain for them. No idea where it came from. And yeah, I don't tend to use them. There are some cute ones out there, but for Trainz and for just narrow gauge in general, there are just so many Mikados. I mean, did you see the old Rares Online tech tree? It's like half Mikados. K37s are just small well, sort of, yeah. Waihu Railway. I can't wait to be a tsunami on the meme channel. Anyway, there we go. By the way, if people are trying to send me stuff during the stream, I will make a note. And you have to be fan ranking above for doing that. But if you want to send me like a picture, which is no guarantee that I will actually look at the picture, but if we're talking about something like, here's this crazy locomotive, blah blah blah, the place to put it so that I see it is going to be streaming and recording in the Discord. That is sort of a secondary stream chat. No, I don't always look at it unless I'm directed to, but when I do look at Discord when I'm doing these streams, it's the first thing I want to do. Is that something I want to encourage? No, not necessarily, but you know. And I will say, just for anyone that is popping into the stream and then popping out, or what have you, or isn't in the Discord, there's a link in the description of this video. There's also a link in like the description of the channel. There's also links to our sister channels, which are the Iron Horseman Chronicles, which is kind of defunct, and the Iron Horseman, which is our community channel, which is sort of a shared channel. A lot of the stuff from our trips goes up there. I also want to make a note that there are some people floating around with channels that could be semi-associated that I'd love to bring them sort of into the greater sphere once things get settled. I did make a channel logo for East Rail a while ago, which fits the theme that we have for the Iron Horseman logos. Link to Discord to the podcast cargo docs also in the description. Oh yeah. The narrow gauge engines in Newfie are great. There's also a Well There's Your Problem episode on the Newfoundland narrow gauge railways, which I should probably listen to again because it's been a hot minute. I was listening to the Titanic episode, or episodes, today. I got most of the way through the first one. That is like 5 hours of content, 6 hours of content. Of course, it pales in comparison to the Penn Central saga, especially including... What's going on here? How come this one isn't... Especially including the Penn Station rant. But, you know, just a note. Yeah, Titanic. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I think I need to add a spline point in the middle of this because it's drifting from this one, just where the thing is. All right, there. That's better. Not something I typically do, but it worked out here. Also, I am getting lost as to where I am already on this section of route. It's just all farm fields. That's the thing. This is how it feels like to drive through actual farm country. The people that live in or have driven through farm country knows. It all looks the goddamn same. And that isn't necessarily a diss, But I'm over here going, hey, wait, where's that big bridge? Isn't that bridge supposed to be over here? Yeah, you know, the bridge that I just spent like an hour building scenery around over here? Yeah, I'm king of the world. Also, they kept calling it a Kevin Costner movie, which I assume was an accident the first time, and then they just ran with it. Um, anyway, give me that. Oh, wait, whoops, hold on. Um, we all have room for farms on our eye? So, first of all, no. Second of all, I was referring mostly to like when I drove out to see you in Chicago. Uh, and third of all, Rhode Island was fairly agrarian for a long time. I mean, we're one of the original 13 colonies. Before the United States had a breadbasket out west, the food was all just made here in fields that are full of rocks and suck to farm in. There's a reason all the farmers left when it was like, oh crap, Louisiana Purchase just happened. Yo, babe, like 50 new states, you know, not 50 new states, obviously, like 20 new states just dropped, and they're all full of like flat dirt that you can put corn on. It is like going through a liminal space. Uh, okay, so I need to do the grass along the sides of the road here, both sides. Oklahoma has mashes? Mashes. Uh, I mean, yeah, just don't turn around because Oklahoma isn't known for its ocean coastline. But you know, close enough. Also, Oklahoma is one of those states that I expect to be completely flat, but I know it's not. Like, if GeoGuessrs taught me anything, states are, excuse me, way more diverse than we give them credit for, having not visited. Except for like Illinois. Illinois is Chicago and then flat corn. That I can attest to. Oh my neck. Um, Actually, Mopak, out of curiosity, and I don't want you to dox yourself here, just what state are you in? Because I know you have a farm. Um, I feel like I've asked this. Oh yeah, I've definitely asked this before. Never mind. What am I saying? You know, you're down in Mopak territory. Uh, Oklahoma has a sliver of the Ozarks of the Far East. Yeah. Um, and this is why I lose track of people. There are too many people in the world, not like in the stream chat, not like in my friend group, not like in my family, not like people I have to meet that, you know, oh, this is my friend of whatever. Southeast Missouri. Okay, yeah. And no, just like in the world, like there are too many people, just like for me to know. He obviously lives in Alaska. You've never seen someone in, I've never seen someone land in Montana on GeoGuessr. Really? We need to do more GeoGuessr videos. We did GeoGuessr for our community playdate once, and that was a lot of fun. Um, and I always try to do this with the power of suggestion because I never nominate a game for um, for community playdate. I feel like I have too much power, so I just don't say anything. Uh, and of course, if it turns out that I don't have too much power and I were to say something and then it just doesn't get any votes, then I would be sad. And you know, I don't want to have my incredibly fragile ego bruised by people not voting for my suggestion. So I just don't post one. Uh, Pro tip: don't do that. Just deal with rejection. No, but in seriousness, I do feel like I don't like to vote on polls and such. And I do vote on community playdate because I partake, but uh, it's just like, you know, it's too much. It's too much. I already do a lot with the power of suggestion, and then people will be like, "Oh, Ellis said we should do Merger Mania," and then we do Merger Mania 2 times in a row, for the first time after playing it, after not playing it for like 3 years. Um, so this is a French League. We have so much in common. Yeah, I know. why do you think I decided to go and become a big star on the internet if my ego wasn't huge, you know? Uh, all how many stream viewers do we have right now? All 13 of our stream viewers. Fantastic. I know Merger Mania is fun. It's just a lot. Oh, I need to go add the COG in. You know what? Maybe we end the stream early so I can do that. And by end the stream early, I mean I keep streaming while I go do that, but we stop doing scenery at like 9:30 instead of 10 because I'm already tired of this. And I need to go download stuff. I need to go download like barns and things to make to make the homestead and stuff. I am a huge internet celebrity. Don't you freaking forget it. 15 is a lot more than usual, and I'm really loving it. Not because it helps my ego, but because it's nice to see people coming together, hanging out, chit chatting, and being a part of this route building catastrophe. Um, okay, I want to fill this. Okay, I can't quite do what I want to do there because the thing is on top of the tracks. What if I do it like this instead? That looks garbage. I'm gonna be honest. It looks really terrible. So let's do this at the entrances to make it look less garbage. Correct term is disaster piece. Yeah. Uh, Matt, there is no closet involved. Try setting the height. Does that work for these? I guess it does. I've never thought about doing that with grass splines like this. It's a good point. That works. Damn, Mason. Good thinking. Yeah, no, that's exactly what I wanted. Thank you so much. All right, we have another one of these somewhere. Right here. All right, and this one right here, that's the spline point. Just got to grab it. Yeah, first try. Okay, that's Mason. You get a gold star. Um. Okay. It's 9:07. Yeah, MK, I'm inclined to agree. Too many splines. Kume would have a heart attack. Does he not like splines? Oh, right, because the spline system, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. Oh, Kume. You said Kume, and my mind went to RO, and I just thought Mark. And I was like, yeah, Ice came on the stream. He saw my splines. He didn't seem freaked out by that. I want to do more stuff with Heist and that group of people. We just have not been able to lately. I haven't wanted to pester him because, he's in the middle of his move. So, again, I think I mentioned this last time. I can't even bring myself to ask, how is the move going? Because that seems like too much. Heist. Yes, baby? Nothing? You just came to hang out? Yeah. Yay. Okay, I loved you. How's Brittany?
She's doing alright.
Has she tried the mac and cheese yet?
She had to share. She was upset because she had to share it with everybody.
I mean, tell her that I was upset that I had to share it with her. Don't actually tell her that.
No. But Brittany loved it. Jesse loved it. William loved it. I don't know if Shannon had it, but she said everybody said it was delicious.
Well, that's good. I'm glad. Thank you, Ryan. Ryan, the Steam guy. You seem new as well. But yeah, this is the tip of the iceberg. I'm gonna show off in about, let's say, in about maybe 45 minutes, depending if I decide to do the thing with the Merger Mania thing or not. If I decide to go and do that, it's going to be sooner, but I'm going to go and show off the route as a whole. No lamp. Oh. All of them?
Not all of my custom contacts, but I got my command center, my wonderful wings, and my slice of life mod already.
Nice.
If I make a custom content, I have to make sure that it's up to date and everything, you know?
Yeah. That's why I like it when, that's kind of why I like doing modded on like old versions of Minecraft because I know that no update is ever going to come along and break it. Uh,
Well, since it's constantly updating.
yeah, I'm aware of that. I know you don't have that luxury of like, no, I'm going to stay on the old version.
Yeah,
Uh, okay, so make Monkey Bananas an IRL company. I still need to make freaking the Iron Horseman an IRL company. I have all my packages sent to, there's always a company slot. I always put the Iron Horseman in there, but naturally there is no actual Iron Horseman LLC, which was kind of an idea from like day one. Like we would do this. Anyway, um, down to the clock when you said the time just a few minutes ago. I realized, oh wait, I'm an EST. Yeah. Um, if I have by current standards a potato, what version of Trainz should I buy? Okay, that's a tough one. Honestly, I would probably still say 12. You're just gonna have to turn the graphic settings all the way down. Or sorry, 12. 22. I would say 22, except you're gonna have to turn the graphic settings all the way down. Why? Because 22 is basically a carbon copy of 19, and 19 is a direct performance upgrade from Tane. Um, and that is, you know, what I just said is not by any means a 100% endorsement of anything. I no longer have a potato. Um, I'm just sort of taking from my own experience with a okay-ish computer. Um, but if oh god, the banana company. You guys are out there spreading the gospel of the banana company. Uh, you know what? Let's just go visit the banana company. Let's just fill. Let's fill Ryan in. This is the banana company. It's just a building. It says Monkey Bananas Limited, and apparently that was enough for everyone to turn it into a meme. It's not custom. It's just on the download station. Uh, okay, keep it in your pants, has been. Uh, you're not wrong, but you know, I'm the one with the big ego here. Uh, dedicated hour each stream to the banana company. I'm starting to think there are people out there that like bananas just a little bit too much. Um, and Pat, you gotta stop. Uh, all right, what is next? I don't feel like doing beach right now, and we just did all this grass on the beach. Um, Trainz 22 runs just fine on my laptop. My processor doesn't eat the minimum requirements for the game. Hello, DT. Uh, man, TJ, now I want to play Coup again. I want to play Coup. Alright, so we're just going to continue going along the tracks, I guess. Um, we also need to trim up sort of the edges of these fields here. Probably with some sort of dirt and grass as a separator and like maybe a fence. Fool, I stole a computer from NASA. More an idea of making a colonial era India map. I found a way to paste trees fast. You found a way to paste trees faster? What is that? Yeah, the game will do surprisingly well if you just turn everything to the lowest settings. And you don't try to run routes that are Tolbrent. you know? It's called an auto clicker. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, uh, I'm not one for auto clickers, but that is a good idea, and I'm sure somewhere out there, Milky is cheering. All right, let's fill this in here. Just doing, happy little clouds or whatever along the edge here. Um, Once when I was 7 years old, I sat a banana, and of course that changed my life. Yeah, you're gay now. Uh, the new copy and paste from Surveyor 2.0 is something that I need to experiment with. Um, and yeah, no, MK, that is something that I was very, very familiar with. And even these days, I'm like, I'm just gonna set it to, I'm just gonna set it to medium and be happy. You know, sometimes my computer gets angry at me when I play Derail Valley, and it's like, okay, I'll just turn the graphics down and everything will be fine. It plays the same. I don't care if it looks like I'm, in like Siberia while I do it. Siberia in the summertime, so just like empty plains. The plains, or I should have said like Karelia or something. Um, Auto clicker is friend in NPS. Yep. Um, Fast forward, but isn't there also a fast forward button for debugging the AI? I believe there is, but there's one issue with it, which is I suspect, I haven't tried it, but I suspect it breaks the timer commands. The ones that wait until a certain time. Because if you set your clock speed on anything other than 1 to 1, those commands don't work. And if you adjust the time, those commands don't work. They're very finicky. And I wonder now if there's a newer version of them out in the world somewhere, or, on the DLS that I can snag and use that because it will be more robust. But that remains to be seen. I haven't fiddled around with that. I haven't needed to. All right, we should be doing the track first, or we should be doing the track ballast first. We're doing this instead. So a Tolbrin meme merger mania. Yeah, I'd have to develop all of the I'd have to develop 110 predecessor railroads on Tolbrand alone, which is fair, I guess. You know what you could do? You could do an entire merger mania of just the Pennsylvania Railroad. Uh, they merged with like six. There were like 600 mergers over the course of that railroad's history, not including the one bad one at the end. Um, I have a question about the Torbing Railway. Is there a teen version of it, or would I have to get 22? There is a teen version of it that's on the DLS that is a lot smaller. Um, check the download station. Uh, check the download station for the teen version, and yeah, there may be a. Oh yeah, that's right. That's another thing I need to do is put the CDP online. I won't. There are older versions that I should have available for somebody that just pokes me on Discord. But if you can, just spare me that, do it tomorrow, because I forgot I do have to watch a movie after this for the realist, as mentioned. So I won't have time to fiddle around with that, unfortunately. And I'm not even sure if I have them up on Google Drive. So it'll be a little bit of work for me to set that up, but I am glad to. I just can't do it immediately. It's okay, we know what you meant. Doing fictional paint schemes is fun. I usually leave those to other people. I just pick the colors. I leave those to wonderful people like Matt. Alright. I like to do logos. I've done logos. Those have been sort of my bread and butter. Or they were for a while, of like things that I could do. But I'm a macro guy. I'm a big picture guy. Jesus Christ, Matt. I am here to do like the giant map and the automation, and backstories are cool, but I just don't feel like doing the minutia and doing the editing, etc. And I say that even though, like I mentioned, I am willing to make, gladly willing to make like railroad emblems for all our, our Iron Horseman-esque emblems for all of the related channels to the Iron Horseman. And uh, yeah, that one took me longer than the first flub, figuring out what teen version meant. Uh, It sailed right over my head. Um, reading. It is the reading. Didn't someone say the reading railroad during the Ultimate Monopoly playdate? And yeah, it just like set off a thing. Speaking of setting off a thing, I love how during both episodes of Merger Mania, every time someone said the Milwaukee Road, there would just be a chorus of Milwaukee Road. That tickled me. I thought it was gonna get old, but it didn't. I laughed. I chuckled every single time. What was that, baby? You hear something? Oh. Where's the dog? Oh. Hopefully he didn't bust out the window and he's in the front yard now. Um,
Not yet.
I don't know what he's. Okay, good boy. All right, so we gotta draw out the line between these two fields. We have made a decent amount of progress. We're definitely like done up to here, except for the homesteads, the farms. Um, what's the next goal? Probably like to get up to the signal bridge. Ooh, man. Okay, I'm sorry if that caused anyone to yawn, but you can tell I'm definitely getting tired of this. Through the weeds, not around them. Exactly. All right, we're gonna do something that I very rarely do anymore, which is do sort of like this slow drawing. Um, ooh, that looks terrible, actually. Wow, that I don't know if that could look worse. Whatever. Okay, so fill this in here. This is the line between these two fields. Like dragging a plow, exactly. Alright, so before Ellis falls asleep and draws the brown line for miles. Oh no. Yeah, you just wake up and it's just stretched across the entire map. I wake up in the morning, you guys are still here, like some of you have just like stuck it out, seeing where I end up. The brown line has made it to Hong Kong. Um, I've drawn across the entirety of the Pacific Ocean, even though this isn't on Earth as established, or an Earth as we know it, I suppose. Um, there we go. And there we go. All right, now we got to follow this wobbly line, which honestly should have been a straight line, but oh well. Um, sounds like the Heartland Flyer. Sometimes I can hear the horn. I used to hear horns from my dorm, and I still sometimes hear horns here, which is unusual because the Amtrak line is like on the other side of a hill. Uh, but I guess if it's just right, the sound will travel up the Manton Valley, and if the wind's blowing right, yada yada. How would you like the NW 1218 to paint in blue? Uh, probably wouldn't. I don't. I don't really. Disclaimer: I'm not a racist. I don't really like colored engines. Um, I just subscribe to like the paint it black or the Pennsylvania Railroad paint it green, but it's actually just black that you're pretending is green. So yeah, I'm not. People go gaga over like 4501. Oh, it's Southern Green. I really think it doesn't look good. Um, and 611's okay in terms of its. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, MK. Um, so they were green. That doesn't mean I have to like it. Um, I remember the first time I saw Baldwin 26 Steamtown after it was operating. I was just like, ugh, that's disgusting. Uh, Pick list of meme assets. Yeah. Um, all right. Are there green boiler Northerns on this very map? Yes, there are. That doesn't mean I'm a fan of them. An illegal monopoly van, that's always necessary. That might be one of the oldest memes that's persevered. Because that was a really, really old Terminus meme. I can't really think of one that's older, except for I don't know if that one predates though. What's the date? November 2nd, which is November 2nd. Um, Cole Conrail, yeah, it is a really good one. I didn't remember how that one started. Um, wasn't it just a sign that said, "In case of emergency, call Conrail"? Um, Call Conrail is literally episode one. Oh, okay, then yeah, that is the oldest one. Although that did fall out of favor for a while, and when I was creating the Terminus document 4th edition, the most recent version that we use for the podcast, I brought back the Call Conrail meme because I just needed some more stuff to put like in the outro. Did they change the number? I remember we had like a debate on this. We had like a confusion over what the phone number actually was, which doesn't really matter because don't actually call Conrail. Like I don't need to. I know I shouldn't need to say it, and I don't feel like I need to say it. But if anyone's listening to this, don't actually call the Conrail emergency number uh, unless you're having an emergency that involves Conrail. Which, if you are, then fine. More power to you. Call the Conrail emergency number. I feel like it's hard pressed. You'd be hard pressed to find an emergency that involves Conrail these days. So, you know, uh, good luck and Godspeed finding a Conrail emergency. Good boy. Um, I feel like it had 911 in it. Yeah, the OCS, the CPOCS derailed. That is kind of funny. Um, but I mean, it wasn't like a tremendous, terrific derailment. Uh, so yeah, this kind of thing happens all the time, and it's hardly newsworthy. So you're a Conrail emergency. Please turn on your phone camera. Yeah, the train was late. It derailed. You don't have to frame it well. I just want to have the vaguest idea of what's going on. Yeah. Um, please, yeah. Unless that issue is you're about to get hit by a train, we don't actually need to see that. Although, I mean, focus on like not getting hit by the train. If you have the choice between getting hit by a train and filming it, and not getting hit by a train and not filming it, take option B. That's my professional engineering advice. In fact, that is the only question that's going to be on my professional engineering exam, which I need to take. Uh, and there, I just solved it. I gave you all 100% study guide. You could have an engineering degree tomorrow. Everyone listening to this. Unfortunately, it'll be from a fraudulent university, so it won't actually mean anything. But you will have paid me $58,000 a semester, which of course there's only one semester because there's only one question. But no, option C is unavailable. But option D is big, and you should rush E. Yes. Um, okay. Well, unless you're calling Conrail because it's an emergency because Conrail's about to hit you. I don't call that safe. Hey, Ghostbusters B911C Conrail. I need a sign. I need a sign with the Conrail logo. One of those signs that says, "In this house, we don't call 911," and it's we call Conrail instead. And then like a U-23 beat comes through the wall and runs over the burglars. It's like that one scene. What is that scene in Oh God, what is that? It's another like it's another what is it? Leslie Nielsen comedy movie. Um, I can't remember the name of it, but the guy's being chased through the woods by the train. It's the one where that one gif of like the locomotive leaning into frame behind the trees. I need to know. Someone in the chat has 100% seen this. I almost guarantee it. Some wrongfully accused. Yes, thank you, Ryan. Uh, I looked up specifically that scene again. Uh, uh, yeah, that's absolutely wonderful. But it would just be like that scene, except it would not be wrongfully accused because they broke into your house. The Fugitive. No, not that. Um, Iron Horseman movie night. Um, we watch that. And the only interruption that is allowed, everyone has to be deafened, or sorry, muted, not deafened, obviously. Uh, the only thing that is allowed during that movie, you have to be dead quiet because it's I mean, I guess you can laugh. Um, there will be one instance, and you won't be told when. At some point during the entire runtime of the movie, randomly there will be one instance of steamed hams. Uh, that is all. What do you mean? What am I talking about? Nothing. Don't worry about it. Um, I was talking about watching a movie. I think you mean conspicuous. Um, Thank you, Matt. Getting in the spirit already. Um, anyway, it's time to do the goddamn news. Steamed hams. Um, you know what's disappointing? I think I only really came to understand the steamed hams meme after I moved out of upstate New York. Because I think if I knew about that while I lived in Troy, every single time I went and got a burger, I would have called it a steamed ham. And I did that a lot. I would have driven my like three friends in college absolutely bonkers. Um, Iron Horseman. Yeah, no, I mean Unstoppable is also good. Unstoppable is on the movie list for the real list, so we're gonna rewatch that at some point. It's Unstoppable. I added a movie, by the way, because it was my turn to add a movie. I added Airplane because I don't know how that wasn't on the list. Uh, it would have been incredibly funny to do Flight and Airplane back to back, as just the juxtaposition of like this is an incredibly serious movie about a plane that is in danger, and then this is an incredibly goofy movie about a plane that's in danger. Um, yeah, no, it is a solidly all right movie. I don't think it deserves all the hate that it gets, but it isn't a good movie. It's just a movie. Um, it's let's face it. It's tough to make a train related like action blockbuster. Live in CT and there are, in the middle of the state there are a few restaurants that actually do steam. Mew, where? Where are there? I live in Rhode Island, so I'm close enough to these steamed burger restaurants, and now I want to try one. It doesn't sound good. I'm gonna be honest. But I will, you know, Connecticut meetup at. Wait, hey, where's that place in Connecticut that has the Hawaiian steam engine? We need to meet up there. Oh, TJ knows about it apparently. Uh, it's a New Haven thing. White Castle does it. That's not New Haven. Or are you just being a son of a gun? Kent. Okay. How do they fix foot crushed by train? Some duct tape, not New Haven. Well, I'm sure there's another one in. I mean, I trust TJ with his New England knowledge, considering. Oh, Meriden. Meriden. Yeah, Meriden's a strange place. You can get good ones in New Haven. See, next time I'm in New Haven, so like never, I'll try to pick up a steamed hams. Try to pick up a steamed ham. Anyway, what time is it? It's 9:36. Okay. I have a watch. It's right here. And I have another watch which you lovingly gave to me. And I have another watch that is from the Soviet Union. Can't antique machinery say, okay, yeah. I need to go there. I've never been. The epicenter of the steamed cheeseburgers in Meriden, Connecticut. Recipes trace back to the 1900s when it was simply steamed cheese on a roll. Okay, first of all, does that technically, because the cheese came first, does that technically make the cheeseburger or the steamed cheeseburger a melt? Because the definition of a melt is you took a grilled cheese and added stuff to it. So this is a grilled cheese that we then added things to. Yeah, what? This is either the best melt of all time or the worst. New discovery, yeah. Holy crap. We're learning stuff on this show. I love it when there's more than 3 people in the chat. Especially smash burgers. I'm with you. Yeah. But I'm talking specifically those, you know, because typically it's a hamburger that you then add cheese to get a cheeseburger. But this because of the way it came into existence, it's like, it's got to be the other way around. Ted's Restaurant and Kayla May's Steamed Cheeseburgers in Meriden and American Steamed Cheeseburgers in Wallingford. Okay, hold on. I need to go to the maps real quick. Because next time I have to go out to Glastonbury and be miserable. Where is Meriden? Meriden CT. Oh, it's in the wrong direction. Is there anything in the eastern half of Connecticut that does the steamed burgers? Because that's all that I can get to. Check out the foam pit. Hold on. Next time we're at the valley. Yeah, that's right. I guess that's close enough. Ooh, a broken T1. Oh wow, that is demolished. That sucks. Last time anyone has pork on their burger. When is the last time anyone here has had pork on their burger that wasn't bacon? Oh man. I had one with pulled pork at like BJ's Brew House. I think had like pulled pork on a burger, right? Or no, maybe that was brisket. Pork on a burger. I can't tell you. I can't remember off the top of my head. 3 weeks ago, huh? Don't Hawaiian burgers do a slice of ham? Ooh, that sounds good, actually. I am hungry. Now I want a burger, which is slightly problematic because I don't have any burgers on hand. I haven't been to a BJ's in forever. I did. Oh, Dad, I thought you said I died. No, pulled pork doesn't count, like, as the patty. Oh, as the patty. As the patty. I thought you meant in addition to the patty. Um, Went to Shake Shack last night. Nice. Um, yeah, see, I haven't had a pork patty in forever. Um, in fact, the only time I can remember having that, although I know there had to be other ones, the only time I can remember having that is the second best burger of my life at Chomp in Warren, Rhode Island, because they had a pork patty like that had like cheese and bacon in it as part of the patty, like infused into the patty. That was for a very long time that was the best burger of my life. Um, which honestly was not supplanted until my first Valentine's Day with Gloria, where we went to another Warren staple called the Square Peg, and there I had the best burger of my life. Um, an onion burger. Um, and yeah, man, if I wanted to go back to Square Peg, the only issue is it's on the wrong side of the state, and I don't mean wrong like it's the wrong side of the tracks, but like it's far. It's like 20-30 minutes of a drive. It's not worth it really unless you're going over there for something special. There's a sushi place over there that my mom recommended to me, and Gloria and I have been on a sushi kick for the last like 6 months now. Uh, but I just haven't bothered to go over there because I Kevin, shut up. It's far from me. Because I can't bring myself to drive 30 minutes for a restaurant when I've got 10,000 restaurants within about five. Um, and most of them are pretty good. Like I'm close to downtown. I can take a bus into downtown Providence and have my like pick of all sorts of kinds of cuisine. Or I can just drive into Johnston or drive up Chalkstone Avenue, where there's I got a boogie minute. This is Rhode Island. Um, the small one. It's the small one. No, it's not a part of New York. Uh, uh, and yeah, it's just there's so many different restaurants that are all so good, and I yeah, I don't want to keep going to the same five restaurants, but there are still so many over here that I haven't touched in the like 3 years since I moved here. Onions cooked into the patty does not sound bad. Um, Also, I was surprised. I understand that people don't, but I was surprised when I asked around that like nobody I talked to likes sushi. Uh, it's like ooh sushi. No, effing try some. Try some like spicy crunchy crab. Just try that. That was my gateway drug into sushi. It's so good. It's so good. I mean, you have to go to a good place. Don't like get it in, don't like get it at a gas station or anything. But yeah, it's like a taco meat thing, but as a patty, it sounds awesome. Yeah, um, it does sound awesome. This is why the people that like tour the country or the world in search of the best burger or whatever, so envious, so envious. If I had an even bigger ego than I already do, I would totally become like a TikTok influencer uh, that survives on my ego and expensive and $15 cheeseburgers. Uh, so yeah, gas station sushi not? Was there a time when it wasn't a meme? Just like don't get food at a gas station unless it's a Sheets. Uh, yes, we do have burgers with fried egg on them. Um, there was there's a place in sort of the northwestern quadrant of the state called Blackie's. Blackie's Pub or Blackie's Tavern. I can't remember which. I think it's Blackie's Pub. and they have a burger with a fried egg on it, and I had that. That was delicious. You know where else I have had a burger from? And you guys are gonna call me crazy. A gas station tacos today. Okay. Maybe it's like it cancels out gas station and tacos. It just cancels out, so you have an okay food experience. Um, but I have had one of the IHOP burgers, one of the IHOB. You know, um, I haven't had an Impossible Burger yet. All the vegetarian food I've had has been very disappointing, uh, which is kind of a shame. I wanted to like it, but we went to like this fancy vegetarian restaurant and I tried a couple things off the menu and they were both just like meh. Just didn't like them. Didn't taste good. So much of vegetarian food also relies on mushrooms, and I can't stand mushrooms. Or vegan food, you know. But you know what I mean. Non-meat. Uh, oh no! I hope it wasn't hot. I hope that yolk wasn't hot. That sounds like it's a recipe for like burns. Um, IHOP's burgers are good. Like they're I cannot in any world say they're bad. I can't even say they're okay. They're pretty good burgers. The thing is if I'm going out because I want a burger, I am never going to an IHOP. I'm going to an IHOP because I want like yeah, I want breakfast food. I want pancakes. I want, you know, waffles with too much syrup on them and like strawberries in the middle for some reason. I want, an omelet with six kinds of meat in it, uh, and jalapenos. But it's like, uh, Impossible chicken nuggets tasted exactly like the real ones. Yeah, see, I need to try some because that was years ago, and like vegetarian food has changed, and Impossible meat has come so far. Uh, but that's like come visit Charm City Burgers. Are you in New Jersey or are you back in Florida? Because maybe when I go to Pennsylvania next, I'll swing by and I'll have some of those. Maybe that's my impetus to make my trip a little bit longer. I come and have one of those burgers. And I'm thinking with like full on burger brain right now. I'm making really poor decisions about burgers. Uh, I've never left Florida for New Jersey. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I must have been mistaken then. Uh, so anyway, we're gonna draw a dead straight line and not screw this up again. How are we gonna draw a dead straight line? Obviously, a piece of track. Um, hit up white mana. Um, I should have just asked, is that a Florida thing or a New Jersey thing? Um, all right. So let me just. This is still not a very straight line. Um, why would anyone willingly go to New Jersey? Cheap gas, I guess. Yeah, no, we're you know that thing, and brace yourselves for what I'm about to say. You know that thing like when you're horny, so you make poor decisions because you're horny. It's just like horny brain is in full effect. So I'm gonna do that. That is me right now, except it's with burgers 100%. I I will openly discuss going into New Jersey if the reward is a burger because I want a burger so bad. Uh, um, when you're down bad, but for burgers, that is the most perfect way to put it. Thank you. Uh, down burger bad, down bun, burgy brain, the burgy brain. Uh, anyway, what time is it? Oh! It's 9:49. It's about time for me to wrap up and do something else and show off the doodad. All right. So real quick, we're gonna do a Merger Mania thing. Um, now that this is done, time to save. Anti-Burgy Bat. Oh man, thinking with the wrong meat. I'm always down bad for burgers. Yeah, I mean, ain't we all? All right, hold on. All right, I gotta switch to full screen mode. Give me a second. Screen. Exit Surveyor. Oh, it's gonna get me stuck here, isn't it? It's not gonna let me out of Surveyor. Half the time, it doesn't let me out. It might. I might have to crash it on purpose. Let me back out to the menu. It's not gonna let me out now, because it didn't need to save. It's not gonna let me out. Whatever. I'm not worried about it. I was gonna go download some barns, but let's just crash. We're gonna explode the game. Explode. Okay. So what do I need? I need Merger Mania. I need Google Earth Pro. And I'm adding the KOG, which, right? I'm adding the KOG, which is what? Let me go back into gaming. Yeah, KOG. Kansas, Oklahoma, and Gulf. Which, Joplin, Missouri, and Denison, Texas. Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Kansas. Okay. I need to go download some maps. Mississippi Rails. Here. Here. Okay, so what did he say? He said Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas if I want to be safe, and what was the last one? Texas? Texas. Oh, Texas with log. Can I have Texas without logging railroads? I was just looking for regular Texas. Oh boy, that's an entire megabyte. That's a lot of railroad. Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas. Okay. Go to my downloads. Downloads. You can tell that I was doing a lot of Merger Mania stuff. All right, so this is probably going to be troublesome to load. Oh my god. It's like someone just threw up rainbow confetti. Okay. What am I looking for? Kansas state map. I guess it's considered a Kansas short line because it's not this one, this one, this one, this one. Midland Valley. Do we have that? Hold on. Oh, there's the turn tool. Because that's listed as a class 1 in here, and I'm wondering what the heck it is. No, we don't. What is that one? Right? That was the Midland Valley. Okay. MK2 we have. That one is the one we need. Mopac, Frisco, and UP. These can all get deleted. Okay. What is... If I turn off the short lines, that leaves two things. This... Oh. And this... Oh, it's just nicking the corner. So what is this? We're going to need to figure out this one, because that looks like a good one, too. I delete Kansas shorelines, because we definitely don't need that. Texas state map. Please delete this folder before I make terrible mistakes and open it. Class 1 railroads. That one we have, that one we have, that one we have, that one we have, that one we don't. We have the L&A, right? The Louisiana and Arkansas. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong state. That's this. This was just a tiny little railroad, wasn't it? We did have that, I think. I'm just gonna get... Let me just double check really quick. It's just this and this? Which, do we have that? Louisiana and Arkansas? Yeah, we do. Okay. Um, Noticeably, I can't see the chat, so if you guys are yelling at me, that's totally fair. Mopac and MKT, we have these guys, we have this one, we have that one, we obviously have. Why is BNSF in here? Delete that. That leaves the short lines, the government railroads, getting rid of that. It also just leaves a folder called Galveston, which I'm going to get rid of that, I guess. I thought this was going to take less time. Those are all the Texas short lines. What am I turning on and off? Oh, that's it. It's just that. Vicksburg, Shreveport, and Pacific. We don't have that one either. I don't think. No, we don't. We're gonna have to think about that one. Acme, Pacific. Okay, this doesn't attach to anything. We'll just delete that. I don't know if that helps me at all. Kansas, Oklahoma, and Gulf Railway is that one. That is the one that we need. It's gonna delete this straight away. So yeah, we do need to come back to that one. Class 1 railroads. This. Where's this one? Well, Missouri and Arkansas is probably up here. I'm looking at Missouri. I'm looking at the wrong state. There are definitely some ideas for things we can add on this one, because Missouri and Arkansas seems not tiny. Kansas, this one seems much larger though. This one I'm going to delete. And then Oklahoma state map, finally, just delete the shoreline straight away. Class 1s, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Hold on. We're missing something. Is that considered a short line? Oh, I'm gonna have to throw the Missouri. Oh, wait. Yeah, this is the MKT. And this is the other dude. Okay. We gotta put the Oklahoma State map in here again. Oklahoma State map. Get back in here. Yeah, there it is. It's underneath the short lines. It's gotta be. So just delete Class 1 railroads. Delete them all. That's not a political statement. This one. There are also a couple others that are large-ish. Like, not that one. Like whatever this one is. This is the Midland Valley, that's right. Okay. Either way, this is what we're doing. We are creating the Kansas, Oklahoma, and Gulf. We're putting that together. So that is the Kansas, Oklahoma, and Gulf. KS, TX, where is it? Oh, this is Missouri, Oklahoma, and Gulf, which is the same thing. Oh, wait. This just covers all of it. Interesting. Okay, so this is fine. We'll just add the Missouri, Oklahoma, and Gulf. Just as its own thing. Because I think if we turn off... Oh, wait, we need to turn off Kansas and Missouri. Okay, yeah, it's just that little nick that we're missing, which does that let it meet up with any other railroads? Kind of. So I'm just gonna folder that. Which one was the later railroad? Somebody wrote it down. Later the Kansas, Oklahoma, and Gulf. Okay. So, Texas, Kansas, move these guys into here. And then just add in the entire Missouri, Oklahoma, and Gulf. Go on. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so save place as. I'm still going to show the map, guys. I'll be there in a second. Kansas, Oklahoma, and Gulf Railway. And now that we've saved that, close this out. Discard, and we'll think about that other one later. That was the, what was that one called? That we were just looking at? What was the other one we were just looking at? I forgot. Somebody write it in gaming, please. Because I gotta go and do that one too. Okay, so whatever. We've done that. We've created the map for it, and I can add it later. And finally, let's look at the map of Tolbrin for the people that haven't seen it yet. Pictures. Maps. Tolbrin. Tolbrin superimposed. So you will be able to see what we've created versus what I'm trying to create. It's a lot. So these tiles are the tiles that we have in the map thus far. This is the Tolbrin Peninsula at large. 4 major railroads, 2 minor railroads, and then some connecting railroads. The 4 major railroads are, of course, the Gilson Eastern in blue, the Zion and Skyline in red, the Volga Mountains in green, the New Shoreham Tramway in yellow, the minor being the Geiger Mountains Railroad in orange, and the Mansfield Branch Railroad in purple. Meanwhile, you have the Tamarillos Vale Anaconda, which is in green, which isn't shown on the map, and the Nudie Mag Tamarillos and Akron Railroad, which is down here. It actually runs up this way. The dotted line indicates where the edge of the map is. So this part is the actual peninsula, and then out there is just lore area. So the Gilson Eastern, to just go over them very briefly, the Gilson Eastern is a railroad that goes along the edge of the peninsula and down. The Volga Mountains is this green line which goes through the middle of the peninsula and down. The New Shoreham Tramway is just basically a glorified interurban service here, commuter rail, whatever. The Zion and Skyline starts here in Gilson City and then goes out to the east, on the east side of the peninsula. This orange in here is the rebuilt Geiger Mountains Railroad, as I will be doing it soon, TM. And the purple is the Mansfield Branch Railroad, which was a branch of the original main line of the Gilson Eastern, but they sold it off when they finished Ravensbridge Tunnel. So yeah, that's Tolbrin. It's a lot of map. That is the Nickel Tour, and I do need to go and set up those other maps. I think that other short line we were looking at in that region is a valid contender to add, because it's much larger than some of the very small maps, very small routes. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Under Construction, and we'll see you next, oh right, sorry, we did that. We'll see you next week. This is the Admiral,